Mastro, welcome to my YouTube channel, vastucreations.com. Today we're going to talk about very wealthy, charitable J.D. Rockefeller, one of the wealthiest people in the U.S. During his time period. If you look to the eastern horizon when he was born using sidereal zodiac, not a tropical western zodiac, you would see the constellation associated with Mars, uh, Aries, rising at 5 degrees. So any planets like Moon and Venus that are within 5 degrees have a lot of impact in the chart. So first we're going to look to see if there are any challenging multicona signs. So multicona signs are 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 11. So we have in the Dustana houses the 6th, 8th, or the 12th. So we have Virgo, a sixth sign, ruled by Mercury. Mercury in the sixth house. So Mercury, along with Rahu and Ketu, can be challenging in this chart. Next, let's look at where the multicona signs fall, the houses they fall in, and that will determine what he came here to learn about in this lifetime. So you have Aries ruled by Mars in the first house, so life purpose, working on name, fame, how people perceive you, his kind of ruthless nature in business. Working on that. Then we have the fourth sign of Cancer, ruled by Moon in the fourth house, which is to do with happiness, home life, and transportation, railroads, oil, natural resources. Then we have the fifth sign of Leo, ruled by Sun in the fifth house. Fifth house has to do with investments, education, children. He had 5 children. Learning about all those things. And then Virgo in the sixth house, ruled by Mercury, having to do with learning to overcome your enemies. Then partnerships, Libra ruled by Venus, the next multicona sign. Then you have Jupiter ruled by Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter in the house of religion, very religious person. Then we have the 11th sign of Aquarius in the 11th house, learning about wealth and income and social connections. So those are the main things he's working on. Let's see how the planets are operating. Then we'll look and see when they're operating, and then we'll look to see what could be done to improve the quality of the chart. So first, Sun is at 24 degrees. Again, it's ruling the house of investments. And children and education. So it says, and it's afflicted by Rahu. So Rahu is the fifth aspect, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they are within 5 degrees, so they are impacting each other. So that makes Sun a little bit weak, but gives investments in entrepreneurial ventures, the third house. It's connected to heart, so there are heart issues. Hair loss is also connected to Sun. He did get good support from his father, but his father was also kind of a charlatan and got himself in a lot of trouble. So there was some good help. I think his father loaned him some money, taught him some street smarts. And then this Sun is also connected to children there, ruling the house of children. Moon is at 1 degree. So any planet that's less than 5 degrees or more than 25 becomes either in adolescence or old age, and it cannot protect or promote its own signification. So it's close to the most effective point, but it says he can have happiness. That's the fourth house is happiness and family life. So happiness through his family, through his conveyances, which is his railroad companies and his properties, a lot of properties. Then we have Mars at 14 degrees. It's conjunct Jupiter. And so it's Mars is life purpose, so he has his life purpose connected to helping other people through service, sixth house is service. And then there's also some conflicts, overcoming enemies, legal disputes, all connected with his image, how other people see him as a ruthless businessman. Then we have Mercury, and that's the malefic planet in the chart, along with Rahu and Ketu. So this says that there can be health issues. He had anxiety, depression, digestive issues, hair loss, sleep issues, and then it can say that there can be conflicts. Conflicts. It's connected to Jupiter, Jupiter's government. So conflicts with the government, conflicts with his enemies, legal disputes, etc. With his, the government tried to break up his monopolies with the railroad and Standard Oil Company. Then we have Venus, which is close to the most effective point, and it is ruling the house of partnerships. So he made his fortune through acquisitions and mergers with the rail and Standard Oil, and Venus also represents wife. And so Venus, its landlord is Sun. So Venus itself is not weak, but because its landlord is Sun, the house ruler, and Sun is weak because it's afflicted by Rahu, Venus becomes weak. So his wife had some frailties. Jupiter's at 18 degrees. It's ruling this house of good fortune and religion and government and legal issues and finances, and it's placed in the house of conflict. Conflict with his enemies, conflict with taxes and government and legal issues. So it says that he could have good fortune through overcoming his enemies, and through the government. Actually, when they broke up Standard Oil, the little companies became worth more than the conglomerate or the monopoly. He's a very devout religious person. That was a guiding force in his life, and he had to balance that with his ruthless business behavior. He said it was Darwinian capitalism, survival of the fittest, and that's how he rationalized being more of a liar and a cheat, and he gave a lot of bribes. But he also taught Sunday school. So the remedy for a malefic Mercury is to help children. So he built a lot of schools, he taught Sunday school, helped a lot of kids. Now, Saturn is ruling the house of income and connections and fulfillment of desires. So it says he can have income through Saturn is oil, so Standard Oil exploration. It's in the house of exploration or research. Gives discipline, determination, very strong work ethic, and also Saturn is connected to charities. Rahu and Ketu are at 26 degrees, and Rahu is afflicting Sun. Other than that, I don't think there's any more afflictions. But Rahu gives extreme ambition and desire for wealth, income, and social connections. And then Ketu gives insights into investments. So they're trying to find a balance between the material and the spiritual, basically. Let's see here. If we go through the timing of events, he's like in 1839, he got married during a Saturn period. Saturn bringing income of a wife. Founded the Standard Oil, I think, 1870 to 1892. Extreme expansion. It was a Jupiter period, but also with these issues, the antitrust, government lawsuits, and legal issues. So Jupiter is law, government, legal, in the house of conflicts and legal issues. Then he met Vivekananda in 93, and that was also during a Jupiter period, and Jupiter in the house of service and charities. Vivekananda influenced him to give more to charities. He got exposed by the muckrakers, or a journalist, about the monopolies and his treatment of his employees around 1904 during a Mercury Rahu period. So Mercury is again this enemies, conflicts. Then we have the legal breakup of the monopolies around 2007 during the Mercury Jupiter period. Again, legal issues, government issues. Died of a heart attack or arteriosclerosis. 5/23/37. This is a circular chart. The inner circle is where the planets were when he was born, just like this chart, only in a circle. And the outer planets are the transits at the time of death. So we see that Mercury is at 22 degrees, and it is afflicting, Rahu is afflicting, let's see, Mercury. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, I think the main thing is Saturn, representing longevity, is in the house of the end of life, and it is close to the most effective point, within 5 degrees. So a lot of impact there. I think that's the biggest thing. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's afflicted by Ra. No, it's not. I think the main thing is that Saturn there. And then, yeah, those are the main things. All right. Well, thank you for listening. If you're interested in getting Vedic astrology reading, you can go to vastucreations.com under services. If you're interested in learning Vedic astrology, you can go to American Institute of Vastu.com, and you can also get certified with our courses as well. Thanks again for listening. Join us with our other YouTube channel.